Last month for Font Friday, we did a font called Partially Blocked. So I thought this month we would do one that I'm going to call Fully Blocked, because the Partially Blocked has just one part of the letter in a block and then the rest just a thin line. Whereas for the Fully Blocked, the whole letter is in a block form. So I'm just going to go through the alphabet in uppercase and lowercase, and then I will show you some variations. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. So when I'm doing the blocked letter, I picture it in my head as I'm drawing it. So for the A, we're going to go down and then go across up top and then come down. And then we have the legs of the A and then the center. Now, a good way, if you're just starting out and you have trouble forming that block, you could just take a pencil, print the A like you normally would, and then go around it. Just go around it like that. And then take an eraser and erase your pencil lines. That is a great way to start. So for the B, it's like I'm doing a regular B, but instead of going all the way in back to this line, I stop. I only go in a little ways before I make that second bump. And then I just put in my little centers. C. Same with D. It's like you're just doing a regular D and then you put in a center. So for E, I do the side and then the top and the bottom, and then I just come down and it's like you're going parallel to those first lines. And there's some letters that I do find a little harder than others, so I'll tend to slow it down a little and do parts at a time. So a G is a lot like a C. I'm going to come down for the top part, and then I'll just do a part there, and I know I want that little crook on the G, so I'll put that in, and then I'll close it up. And it's kind of hard to show you doing it small like this, because I do find when I use the fully blocked font that it's usually in a big space. Like it's usually when I want to really emphasize that word. So it's usually a lot bigger than this. But the fully blocked font is not hard at all. So an I, you can just simply do a stick, or you can do it so it has that top and bottom portion. Same with a J. You can do it without that little cross at the top, or you can add it in. So a K, I'll start with the side line going down, and I'll come down and go up a little bit, and then I'll shoot that out and come down and then do the bottom. So we have our L, M. M, you can either do it so it goes across, like you have that flat portion up top and down bottom, or I'm pretty sure I tend to do mine that way. You can do it so it's pointy. So just draw your M and then go and run your lines parallel. N, I go across a little bit and then over like that, and then I come up and do that parallel line to it. And when I mean, what I mean by doing the parallel line, it's like when I do this one, then this one's running parallel, and this diagonal, this one's running parallel, and so forth. So it's kind of like for the N, you could draw your N, except when you do this diagonal line, don't come all the way down, and then go back up, and then you can just go in and run it alongside. So for the O, you can do a pretty standard O, or you can make it fatter or skinny. And you can also vary the size of the center. You can not put one in at all, or you can put a big one in, or pretty regular, or you can go tiny. For the P, Q, I don't do Q's very often, so yeah, I already goofed that one up. So we'll start by making a C, but then we'll come down further with the top curve. And then we'll make our little stick, and then we'll do that. We'll copy this curve on the inner part, stopping again where that stick would be and putting it in there. Sounds like you're doing an R, but you're not meeting them up. S, I sometimes goof on my S's, like if I'm doing them in a hurry and I'm not really thinking too much about it, like I'm not paying attention, I can tend to, like, if I'm just doing it, sometimes I'll go like this and then not thinking I'll meet them. I can't remember exactly. I just know that I've done it. It's hard to do a mistake on purpose. But there are times where, like, I don't give myself enough room to come back up. So then it tends to meet. So to avoid that, I'll usually just do the top part of the S, and then come down, and when I'm doing that parallel line to the S, when I come down, I finish this part of the S and then come up and do the parallel part for the bottom. I'll do that again. So I do the top curve of the S, then I copy that line, but then I come all the way down and continue finishing the S, and then close it up. that's the easiest way I find to do it, to make it neat and not mess up. We have T. U is really easy. I mean, most of them are easy. We have W. You can draw it and then just go in. Or you can go all the way up and meet down. Let's see, that one came short and that one went all the way up. Or you can do it pointy in the middle. X, I just do, you know, like the greater than, less than sign. And then go like that. Y, I'll do the top part first, and then I'll just come down with those lines. And if I want it, excuse me, if I don't want this bottom part as thick, then I angle the top parts of my Y more. And then Z, come down a little, and then I do that like mouth, like a Pac-Man mouth, and then come down, and then I'll go back up to the top and try to copy it. Okay, so that's our uppercase letters. Now for our lowercase, I'm gonna admit I don't tend to do lowercase very often, not in this font, so it may be a little tricky. But I'm gonna do it the same size as this. Like, I'm not gonna keep it underneath that middle line because it'll be so tiny and it'll be hard to see. So with an A, I tend to do this style, although I don't really in my regular handwriting, but when it comes to doing fonts for my journal, I tend to do that one. So I mean, you can do it a few different ways. You can just go straight across at the top, or you can come down and curve it and do your bump. And then for the other style A, you can just do your circle, but kind of draw it like you're drawing a C, and then do your stick on the side. So a B, it's like doing your stick. C. C is the same as the uppercase. D, you know, you got your backwards B. Now, an E, so I'm going to do it big so you can see it better. I'll start, like, say in the middle, and then go around and then come up, stop, like we're not going to close it up, and then I'll do that upper part of the E, and then I'll just come down and meet that one. For an F, it's just like you're going to draw that first little crook, and then you're going to come out for the where you cross your F. G, we'll do our circle, and then our bottom hook, and come around and go back up. H, I, J. K. L is really easy. Now with M, I tend to do all straight, but with a lowercase m, I tend to do them curvy, like rounded. Same with the N. O is same as the uppercase. P. Q. Now with the Q, you can put a little crook on the end, or you can just come down straight. R. Lowercase s, same as the upper, we're just going to go smaller. And then T is a lot like the F, except we're not doing a hook up top. U. V. W. X. Then come down. And C. I mean, your period, exclamation, question mark. Question mark I tend to have to take my time a little because I can goof that one up as well. So I guess you have your brackets and your comma and your quotes. I'll tend to just go straight across and then curve and meet it up instead of doing like have it completely parallel. I tend to, I think I do anyways, do it straight across, do my curve, and then meet that curve up with the other one. Or maybe I do both. It probably depends on the mood. Okay, so ways that you can, change it up a little. I'll take the letter H for example. So you can do it how we did it normally. Or you can fatten it up and go a little wider. And that'll even draw more attention to the word. I mean, you could, if you want, you could combine the two. You could make that first one wide and then make the second one skinny. You can make the whole thing skinny. If you wanted to do like a play on words, like think of the word windy and think of like the wind is blowing and it's blowing this way. So you could curve your letters and you could do curve it and go, it's like windy. W is a hard one to do. I think I chose a word with hard letters, the W and the N. So it's like they're leaning that way because they're blowing in the wind. So let's make it look like it's kind of windy. So another thing that I like to do with this font is to add shadows. So I'll go through the Uppercase and I'll add shadows. So to show you where the shadows will go, I'll draw the font, I'll do it in black, and then I'll put the shadows in with pink. So I'm not going to take my time to do each letter because you've already seen me do them. So I'll probably skip past this part on the video and just come back when we're ready to put the shadows in. Okay, so I've gone through and I've done the alphabet, and you'll see with my cue, this is where, like an example of getting messed up in whether I'm doing the inner part or the outer part, because I started doing the cue with this line here, and I started it like I was doing the outer part of the cue because I went to this line, but when I came down I only went down far enough like I was doing the inner part. So that's why you'll see it's a bit odd and it goes above the line. Okay, for shadowing you're going to want to thicken the left or the right and the bottom or the top. So I always tend to do the left and the bottom. So for example, on the A, I have a shadow right there. So that's the shadow on this line. And on this line, the shadow would be in there and in there. For the lines going across, it would be that little part in there and right there. I don't always shadow the bottom. For some reason in my head it's like the letter is sitting on something. So I don't tend to shadow the under part, but if you did, you would shadow it right there. Yeah, see, to me that looks odd because I don't think I normally do that. So for the B, shadowing on the side there and just in like a part of that curve. Now with the C and O and Q, like things that are curved like that, I don't come out straight. Like for the top part, I'll start right at the very top of the curve, but I'll just do it thin, and then when I'm on the side of the C, I'll come out thicker. And then the same thing with the bottom, I'll go thin and come up thicker as we're getting to the side. And then you'll want to do that little curve right there, and then under that part, and then just a little right there. So D, to the side and under. So the G, the side is the same as what I do for the, actually now I think about it, I think I start off thin up top, but I continue the thickness going down and just stop. I'm going to do that little curve and underneath. So right there, and then that little part there. You see? So we're doing the left under, the left of that part, and right there, and then not forgetting that little part right there. think it looks nice, 2 different colors. I only did that so you could see it, but I like it. I went a little too far with that one. Sorry about that. Give you a closer look at the Q. I'm going to turn the volume off on my phone just in case. I don't think to do that because I don't normally get many phone calls. I do the same thing for our exclamation and question mark, all that. Just give me a So there we go. That is fully blocked. I know it's a fairly simple one, but I thought I would show it because it can be a little tricky with certain letters, and it is a font that I do use a lot, and you wanted to know how I do my hand lettering in my journals. So this shows you one of the fonts that I do. And like all fonts, there are ways you can change it up. I mean, you can fill these in with color. You can do the same thing that we did for partially blocked by, partially coloring it in and doing stripes and dots and all those kinds of things. So just play with it, and you can find different ways that you can make it fit the page that you're working in. And don't forget to use Denise Lush Font Friday and or Denise Lush Inspired. That was a hashtag that actually somebody else started, I think. I was like, hey, I didn't know I was a hashtag. So now I follow it because I didn't want to miss what you guys create, that you felt inspired by something I did. I love seeing it all, so please use the hashtags because I really do want to see it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Thanks so much for stopping by. Let me know if you like my videos by leaving me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also head over to my Instagram account and say hi to me over there. If you have any video requests, leave a comment down below and I'll see what I can do. And don't forget to check out my other videos.